Welcome to growthtofreedom.com, the show that brings you inspiration, transformation, and leadership. We're helping you connect the dots, see the blind spots, and get unstuck so you can go out and generate more leads, more sales, more profits. More importantly, so you can go out and have a bigger reach, a bigger impact, and make a bigger contribution.
So, how many of you are here because you want to grow 2 times, 5 times, 10 times? Some of you be excited by that?
10 times is good.
How many of you are excited to have an ELF business? Easy, lucrative, and fun instead of a half, hard, annoying, lame, and frustrating business?
Yep.
So right now, Timothy alluded to it just a little bit. You might be dealing with some, challenges, some problems, some dangers, some threats. Maybe you're dealing with complexity, overwhelm. Whatever that might be, the next 2 days are really about helping you get on the other side of simplicity. There's a great quote that I love, which is from Oliver Wendell Holmes. And I'll get more into that in a few minutes. But I'd rather be on the quote goes, I'd rather be on the, bless you, I'd rather be on the other side of simplicity, right? Or no, I wouldn't give a fig to be on the other side of complexity, but I'd give my life to be on this side of simplicity. How many would agree with that, right? So a lot of what we're going to share, these tools, the exercises, the interactions that we're going to do, they're going to be a little weird at times. We're going to spark some things because the real breakthroughs we find come from the interacting, the engagement. It's not sitting back being a passive spectator. For us, it's not a spectator sport here taking notes. It's going to be very engaging and interactive as we go together. So our promise to you is that when you walk out of here, you're going to learn how to grow, you're going to learn how to scale, you're going to learn how to maximize what you do as far as your leads, your sales, your profitability, so you can go out and have a bigger reach, a bigger impact and contribution in whatever it is that you do. In whatever field, whatever industry, however you're choosing to play your game overall. We want to help you avoid some of the common struggles, right? There's one thing to have failure traps, right? I've run ads where I wrote a check for 20 grand for a full page ad in a magazine and got 0 response. And then I had to check, is my phone working? Is the sites working? I don't know if you've ever been there, right? But we all have those kind of stories probably at different levels with what we do. So there's failure traps, but then there's also success traps where we put ourselves into a situation. I know for me, running 11 companies, I've had a lot of success traps where I finally got to a place where I don't even want this anymore. And I had to make some change. I've heard Joe, and one of the quotes over here is, be willing to destroy anything in your life that isn't excellent. Another one is be willing, if you want to get a breakthrough, what do you got to be willing to do? Break stuff. Break bad habits, break bad rituals, old ways of thinking. So we're going to install some new ways of thinking, the new ways of doing, and most important, new ways of implementing over the next couple days. So I hope you're as excited as we are. We want to help you avoid the success trap. When you walk out of here, I want to give you a summary of what you can expect from today, because we got a lot. We're going to give you tools, strategies, and connections so you can grow and scale your business. We're going to talk about something called the 5 Ps framework. Everything that you do from here on out will fit in these 5 Ps. Not just with us, but anything you do, you can start to go, okay, where does this fit in the 5 Ps of building and growing and scaling my company? That'll become a very important tool. How to tell a better story. How many of you think that if you told a better story, or better yet, you had people telling your story for you, your customers, your stakeholders, your clients, your vendors, your suppliers, telling your story for you, that your business would grow bigger, faster, better? How many think that? Right. How many think it'd be great to have a way to be able to install that in your clients, stakeholders, referrers, partners, etc.? We're going to show you that. We're going to talk about how to build a story through what we call the 3x3x3 framework here in a little bit. Oh, I'm not sure what happened there. We're going to cover some other tools as well. There we go. We're going to walk you through. How many of you are excited about building your marketing plan blueprint for the next year? This tool will be something you'll use quarterly, you'll use it annually, you'll likely use it in every business or every even launch you ever do again because of what it will do for you. We're going to walk you through that side by side here this afternoon. We're going to talk about your marketing campaign playbook. We're going to start with the process of where are you now with your marketing campaign, and then help you come up with a better after version with more clarity, focus, direction. You're going to also be doing some hot seats. Again, a lot of interaction, a lot of engagement today and tomorrow overall. So how many are willing to play full on? Awesome. So we're going to do that. We're going to introduce you to some new ways to think about your sales models, and that, by the way, is just today. How many think we got a full day?
Wow.
Yeah. So with that in mind, I want to speak to the elephant in the room. because there is an elephant in the room, especially I already shared it. I can see a couple of you going, oh my God, that's going to be a lot. It's going to feel like this. It's going to be like you're taking it from a fire hose, that close and that hard at times. So just do the best you can. I'm going to ask you to show up present, contribute, collaborate. Our 3 core values here with the company: connect, collaborate, contribute. If you just show up that way for the next 2 days, you're going to walk out of here transformed. And we're excited to be able to help you do that. Now, with that, there might be a tendency also to say something like, oh, I think I already know that. Beware of that little thing, that little monster that gets in our head, because that holds us back. And again, be willing to destroy anything that's not excellent. If you want to break, you got to be willing to break some. Break that tendency to go, oh, I already know that. I've heard this, some version of this before. Steer clear of that, because the real breakthroughs usually happen a 30-degree turn away from that exact thing that you're going, oh, I already kind of know that. So question, how do we know if somebody really knows something, by the way? Anybody know?
They're already doing it and successful.
They're already doing it and successful.
If they can teach it.
If they can teach it. Any other ideas? So would you agree? If they do it and they can teach it to others. I mean, how about this for you? I don't know about you, but for me, I find that the best way I learn something is what? How about for you? Do you do it? Do it and teach it. So by the way, as we share this with you, take this back to your teams, right? Share these tools with your team. Open the book up. Because if you can help them elevate their game, what does it do for you and your company? Doesn't it raise it up? Yeah? So keep that in mind. We want to help you implement. It's about action. They do it. And that's what the 2 days are about. So speaking of doing it, our focus with you on these 2 days is all about implementation. So when you leave here, by the way, you're going to walk out actually with a blueprint that covers exactly what to do in the next 24 hours, the next 72 hours, the next 7 days, and the next 30 days. How many think that would be good for your business? Awesome. Yeah. So we're going to build up. Everything that we do is a building block to be able to walk out of here with that blueprint and that playbook. So we've got an incredible team here to make this experience incredible for you overall. And then there's you. There's you. Now in this room, I don't know if you got a chance to read the bios, but I was reading the bios last night and I was so fired up going, holy sorry, Tim. Holy mackerel, there's some incredible people in this room. Did you all check out the bios? I mean, we've got about 6 or 7 people running companies doing over $1 million a year, another 4 or 5 doing over $2 million a year. I mean, there's just some great wisdom in here. What I would encourage and challenge you to do is to make sure to connect as often as it's as important as what happens in the interactions that we're going to do, the engagement you're going to have in these hot seats where we get you together and you're networking, connecting, collaborating. It's also as important what happens at the breaks. It's what happens at lunch, and even what will carry as you leave here over the beyond today and tomorrow. Let's set the stage and dive into the first strategy, which is really about the framework I talked about earlier. It's the 5 Ps. And this is going to be a very quick exercise, and I'm going to turn it over to Timothy, and he's going to walk you through an introduction exercise that starts how to tell your story just a little bit better, if not a lot better, overall. So the 5 Ps framework. Rochelle will bring that up here in just a second, but you can write it down. 5 Ps. The 5 Ps are the foundation. Everything that you do from here on out, any event you go to, any program that you're a part of, any book you read, you'll identify where does it fit in the 5 P process overall, right? And I hit on the idea of complexity versus simplicity. If you want to write the quote down, Oliver Wendell Holmes, I wouldn't give a fig to be on the other side of complexity, but I'd give my life to be on this side of simplicity. I think for all of our businesses, if maybe not all, but almost all business, if we can build simplicity into what we do, and we can help our client have a journey or an experience that adds simplicity to their life, that's a game changer. Starbucks doesn't win because they sell coffee. They create an experience and they bring people together to bond, to connect, and it creates a version of simplicity. What is the simplicity in your business that you can create, right? So the 5 Ps, let's walk through those. The first one is the plan. The old saying, most people don't plan to fail, they just fail to what? Fail to plan. So what is your plan? We're going to spend a lot of time today on the foundation of the plan, especially the marketing plan blueprint, because it's not easy to do a marketing plan blueprint by yourself, let's face it. And I've been there, running 11 companies, I've had a lot of failures. I've been through bankruptcy. I've had a divorce because of not doing things the right way with my business and or my personal life because it was just all over the map. But when we have a plan, it just works better, right? And so planning is going to become a very important tool. It's that 20% that'll help you produce 80% of the result. And it also will differentiate you versus your competition, because it's just as hard for them, but they're not taking the time like you are to be able to do it, and you may not have the tools. So plan, number one. Number two is the positioning, meaning your positioning. See, imagine what would happen if you were positioned as the definitive expert in your niche, right? You were the absolute highest level in your industry. What would it do for you? And there's a lot of ways to be able to do that. We're going to walk through a lot of those tools, strategies, as well as some tactics to do that. So positioning is number two. Number three is packaging. How do you package yourself up? You know, Joe calls it canning and cloning, right? Which ties in with positioning. But how do you package you so that you're positioned as the definitive expert? We're going to talk a lot about packaging here over these next 2 days. So that's the third part. Fourth is promotion, right? There's a big difference between fire hosing people with what you do, right? Or being a hunter and being a farmer. Would you all agree? Mm-hmm. Which one do you think we're going to teach you? Hunting methods or farming techniques? Farming. That's the long-term strategy. Old school marketing is dead, and we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. So promotion, very, very important. And then lastly is progress. You know, this is where that breakthrough concept comes to. If you want a breakthrough, be willing to break something. Because what happens, you don't break it necessarily and completely ditch it. You circle back around to the first step. Plan, position, package, promote, progress, which leads ultimately, at the end of the day, you know, we have to make a profit in our business. Because profits allow us to go out and have what? A bigger impact, right? A bigger reach, a bigger contribution. I mean, we create jobs in the economy. We create opportunities for team members. We create opportunities for our clients. Is it good to profit? Yeah. And the sad part is some of us, I know in my first couple years of business, I had a belief issue around making money. Right? So some of you may have that, and we're going to have to unravel that a little bit. And we're going to help you do that. So it starts with these 5 Ps and leads to the profitability so you can have that bigger impact, reach, and contribution. And here's what you need to know. You're in the right room with the right group of people. You're at the right place at the right time. In fact, it's one of the most exciting times in human history. For you as a small business owner, as an entrepreneur, the little guy can truly go out and compete by bringing technology with psychology and then having these tools that really give you the unfair advantage when you put them in place.
Thanks for listening to this episode of GrowthToFreedom.com. Are you struggling to get a steady flow of new clients every day? Or maybe hit a plateau or hit a wall in growing your business? Well, let's help you solve this problem today. Let's review your business and have a conversation. You can do that for free today at breakthroughstrategycall.com. That's breakthroughstrategycall.com. In addition, if you're looking for a simple way to implement some of what we've been talking about in today's episode, then I want to encourage you to get our free small business toolkit. You can get that at activate.breakthrough3x.com. That's activate.breakthrough3x.com. If you'd like access to the special resources and all the show notes for this special episode, make sure to visit growthtofreedom.com.